Please stand by.
Press
Nothing
start.
yet.
It says
Jet,
excellent connection and going live. So we'll see here. Please.
I think it's trying to.
It says you're live.
Yeah.
Are we live, people?
Hello.
Not yet.
No.
They're like, I can see you. There we go. Hey, we got it, I think. Hi, everybody.
Jason lives. Yes, it's live.
Are we live?
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah,
All
we're
right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Metal Detecting Nation. How's everybody doing?
Awesome.
Awesome.
I can see you. There we go. Hey, we got it, I
Oh,
think.
I'm hearing. I'm definitely
Someone has the
hearing.
volume on.
Yeah, I'm hearing volume from somewhere.
Let me figure it out
Awesome.
here. I'm sorry. I apologize if that's me.
If you notice, everybody, Jordy is missing. He will be joining us shortly. So we're just getting everything set up and getting the show ready to hit the road here. I hope everybody had a great week. And
We had a great weekend. We had an awesome outing. We had awesome finds. We watched Matt's live stream, was awesome. And we had an awesome live stream. And we had a blast. We're looking forward to tonight.
I had a great week too.
How about you, Joel? How was your week?
I was good. We went out this weekend and ended up pulling 3 large cents out, and Doug found his first real. So it was fun. It was a good time and started out really slow. We walked around the field for about 4 hours looking for 2 home sites, couldn't find them. So we ended up moving on to another one, and it ended up being really good. So
Cool. Yeah, awesome.
so you got 3 large cents and I got 2.
I got 1 large cent. I mean,
Oh, okay.
total we had
We didn't
3.
get any.
Well, in a total, we got 3 in our group on Saturday.
There you
I
go.
got 2 draped busts, both of them in pretty rough shape, but pretty stoked to find those. It was really great.
Must be on our
Dave,
old
did you get out at all?
Yeah, Jordy and I
that's
got
right.
out, and we didn't have a very productive time, but you know, it's one of those deals where you don't find everything every time you go out, but it was fun and we enjoyed it for sure.
Very cool. Yeah. So Nancy, go ahead and be the leader tonight till
That's not fair. Well, everybody, hey, welcome to Metal Detecting Nation Live here. We are, as we said, we're missing Jordy at the moment. He will join us shortly. As you see, he's sitting patiently waiting to figure out what we're doing here at the moment. We've got Matt from Gone Diggin with us. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
It is good. It is good. I'm sorry. I'm like I'm a little. You guys got a different setup than I'm used to, but I'm okay with that. I've got to man. I got all kinds of stuff. I got a baby in the background, and but things are great. Things are great. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm super stoked to be here, and I'm hanging out and having a full-on glass of coronavirus. So cheers to you guys.
Cheers.
Come on, I have my mask ready, so we're ready.
Good. Good.
Everybody Lysol wiped down, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I've got a full house full of toilet paper. I think that's a thing now. Everybody goes out and buys 5 million sheets of toilet paper, which is good for everybody because it doesn't go bad, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you buy the double ply, you can kind of separate it then.
I'm afraid to buy any because people are going to look at me like I'm hoarding, but yet I actually need to get just some.
Oh my gosh, I never thought of that.
Well, I went to Lowe's today for work, and they had everything was sold out. It was just crazy, and they were actually limiting everybody to like purchase 10 things, like Lysol wipes, toilet paper, and stuff like that. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
We'll see how far it actually goes, though. There was Ohio. There's been 4 so far, but there'll be more coming. So
That's true. Well, hey, Matt, everybody seems to know who you are, I'm sure. But for the ones that don't, please tell us a little bit about you and how you got started into metal detecting.
Okay. Well, my name's Matt. My channel is Gone Diggin, right here on YouTube. I have a Gone Diggin Facebook group, and we're doing some exciting things with the channel and kind of the brand I'm working on building. But I started out metal detecting in 2009. It's pretty interesting. I lived and worked in Yellowstone National Park for just right at 5 years. And people are like, man, why'd you leave Yellowstone? Yellowstone's my favorite place in the world. If I could, I probably would drop out if I had to drop off the face of the earth, Yellowstone is right where I'd go. It wouldn't be hard to find me. I don't know if anybody in the chat or you guys have ever been to Yellowstone.
I would love
It's
to.
on my list. I want to go there.
On the
When I
list.
was a kid, I
All
went.
from the airplane.
So, and that's kind of how I started, right? So it's funny to talk about being a kid. When I was a kid, I always had my my parents to see these kind of ideas in my head. And when I was 13, we went to Yellowstone. It's a family vacation, and my mom said, "Hey, you could go out and you could go work in Yellowstone." So fast forward about not quite 10 years. I got on a plane, went to Yellowstone, or I bought a plane ticket and told my mom. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to Yellowstone next week." She laughed about it. And I showed her my plane ticket. She was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Well, you told me a long time ago you could go to Yellowstone." So I spent a lot of my what I call my college time in Yellowstone. But to bring that whole story full circle is when I was growing up here in Central Virginia, being young, it wasn't anything to see guys out in the fields with these big square boxes and white coils and just be roaming around cornfields and plowed fields. And I always wondered what they were finding. So fast forward to 2009, I have a little bit of money. I say I'm going to save up some money, and I bought myself a Mine Lab E-Track. Now I was still living in Yellowstone, and basically where I was hunting was parks and small areas outside of National Forest, and outside of the park, of course, is off limits for cultural significance. And but it didn't stop me from walking around and keeping my eyes on the ground. I found arrowheads. I found cavalry bullets, pistol bullets from the occupation of the cavalry. And I would always turn those into the Cultural Resources Division of Yellowstone. So if you're ever interested and you do get to go, there is a Smithsonian satellite. It's the largest individual Smithsonian satellite, which is the Cultural Resources Center in Mammoth, just in the north part of Yellowstone National Park. Phenomenal. So they took all my finds that I found, they marked where I found them, they cataloged them. And then 2009 came around, and I'm hunting these little city parks. I started just like everybody else. Yeah. But life changed, and I think it happens like that for many people. And 2010, I got engaged to who's now my beautiful wife and the mother of my daughter. And we decided that unfortunately our time had come to an end with all of our friends. We had created like a family group there. And we moved back home to Virginia. Well, now I have a newfound metal detector, and I live in the epicenter of American history. So there was nothing else to do but to go out and metal detect.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So
And what was the find that got you like really hardcore metal detecting?
So my story is different. Like everybody has that one find, and I ask this a lot on my show for folks. But so I grew up on a farm when I was growing up, baling hay and helping out on the farm. And there was a farm at the end of the street that we always took care of, whether we bush hogged, I helped my dad, he cut hay, whatever. Well, when I got home and I got my metal detector, told my mom, I said, I want to find something. She goes, well, let's go down that farm down the street. And I said, okay. So we walked out into a farm field, and I dug 43 flat buttons my first time I went out.
Oh,
Nice.
And there were coins. And then the next time I went out, I dug 5 Virginia military buttons from the American Civil War. And I just thought that was how everybody metal detected.
Yeah.
No can slaw, right?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, everybody digs these flat buttons. And I mean, I dug garbage in this place. It was, I had done some research, so I thought that there should be an older house there. But I just thought you walked into fields and dug up military buttons and coins everywhere. And that is not the truth, as you guys know, and a lot of folks in the chat know. What I had unknowingly stumbled upon was a undug, unknown Confederate 2-day camp.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And it yielded a number of Virginia buttons, Confederate artillery button, no coins because these boys didn't have any money, and a number of General Service Eagle buttons and a North Carolina State Seal.
Oh, geez.
And I just thought that's what you did.
A normal dig.
So that I mean, I guess that's what really like hooked me, you know. And then in the first few weeks, and really to the first few years, much of what you guys see like behind me is what I really found. I mean, I found some of the greatest stuff in places because I had no preconceived notions of where to metal detect.
Now, growing up in Virginia, were you always interested in history, or did that come about once you started finding these buttons?
No, I've always been like a history, like I was like I'm lucky I graduated high school, but I always got an A in history.
I understand.
Because I always had an interest, whether that was something from a history book or whether that was written local history or oral spoken history from the older folks who lived around me.
It's amazing. You got an amazing area like all around you. We wish we had some of that Civil War stuff around here. It's rare for us to get it, but we love seeing you pulling that out of the dirt. It's just amazing. And we also love your live stream. What got you into doing the live streams?
So the interesting thing with YouTube was, and I'll start with how I started YouTube.
Yeah.
I started YouTube by watching Greg Tony, SC Digger. I don't know if you guys know Greg.
Mhm.
His channel, like I would sit in Montana winters and it would be negative 45 degrees, glued on the TV to Greg Tony, SC Digger, walking around digging in Virginia and the South Carolina low country. And like, I can't tell you how many episodes of his I have watched 10 or 15 times. And Greg was the one that kind of like, really like, I was like, man, he can do this. I think I can do this. And then once I got into metal detecting, I guess about 6 or 7 years ago, I started working part-time at a metal detecting shop called Cold Harbor Metal Detectors right here in Mechanicsville, Virginia. And sitting behind the counter, we always had these guys who like, I think I'm pretty lucky to dig the things that I dig. The old guys would come in and they would tell me stories about if they didn't dig 6 or 7 belt buckles a day, they had a bad day.
Oh, jeez. Can you imagine that?
And I can't. And they were like, so the guy, Jerry, who owns the shop, super cool dude, he would go out with his dad when he was young. And his dad found so many eagle breastplates one day that he skipped one across a pond.
Oh my God.
And, so I started thinking about that and I was like, man, I hope that one day I get old enough so that I won't be able to remember what I did. And I was like, well, I see Nugget Noggin. I watched Nugget Noggin when he was growing up. I watched Aqua Chigger finding shells in the huge coin purse hoard. And, you know, I was like, man, like maybe I should start doing that. So about 3 years ago, I started doing videos. I don't take any of my videos down. I don't care how bad they are, because I hope that they're just a record of what I did, the fun I had with the people I was with.
That's a perfect way to explain it.
You know, so the live streams came about because like this was my way is, and you know, I can't have everybody on my live stream. I would love to, but it's a way that I found as a long distance collaboration and really highlighting things that I found interesting, because I don't always do metal detecting live streams. You know, I do folks with who prospect, who fossil dive, who, I mean, if I could get an astronaut to tell me what it was like bouncing around on the moon, I would have them on, you know, because I think that's like that exploration is what we're all seeking, that adventure, you know.
That's true. That's one of the things I love about your live stream. When I first started metal detecting and checking out YouTube, I came across one of your live streams, and it was fascinating to me. I mean, I was able to connect with so many people and learn about that there wasn't just metal detectors in this community, that there are coin rollers, and there are people that scuba dive for relics. I mean, I didn't even think of anything like that. To me, metal detecting was on the ground. I didn't even think about you jumping in the water.
Yeah. And I think it's neat, you know, the very fun part of this is like Adventures in Dirt. I consider him one of my like great YouTube friends, and I got to meet Tony from 5280 Adventures.
Yep.
And Ken in Denver while I was at a conference, and hang out. And I like, because of this, I mean, I'm going to be honest, some of the silly like YouTube, like displaying who you are and what you do, I've got to meet really great friends that I can call up and like bounce ideas around, and like, hey man, am I silly for thinking this way? Or, but what we are is we're just people who we wish we all lived closer.
Exactly.
That's true.
That's true. And that's one thing, like at Pound the Ground. What were you gonna say?
No.
It was so awesome to meet you, and you know, so many other people that we wished we lived closer to, you and Ken and Gypsy and so many people. It's just a community of like-minded people.
And you know, it's tough too. Like Pound the Ground was really fun for me. I mean, I'll tell you guys who you know, Liz digging Canucks here. I wish I got to hang out with all you guys. I got one like fleeting picture, and I was like,
yeah,
I ended up driving away like just bummed. Like, I could have hunted with Jersey, you know.
Yeah,
It was so many people, and then, but not knowing where everybody was staying at. But that's all different stuff, you know. But it was so much fun just to hang out, like for that like brief few minutes, that it just made me want more for, you know, for the next one.
Well, that's one of the things is like with you, as you said, by traveling, you've met these people through Pound the Ground. Where else have you traveled to metal detect? Or have you gone? What's the farthest place you've gone, or where do you want to head to metal detect?
So I have like, so I have some really lofty aspirations in metal detecting. So I'll tell you guys, I'm producing my first own event by myself.
Yeah.
I'm producing what I'm calling the Gone Diggin Beach Blast. And that's really close to me. But last year I went to Pound the Ground. I guess, when was that? October?
Yeah, October.
And then in February, I drove to Florida to Gainesville, Florida for the Florida Hunt 6. So in the last 24 months, I've hunted in as far north and as far south and still be in the United States as I can go. But in all these events, I realized like, this is really cool. I want to do one of these events because I love the social aspect of it. But I also understood that there's not a lot of education involved in some of this stuff. And I think a lot of the live streams of what we're doing, and like this is because folks who come and hang out in the chat. My happy birthday, Liz, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
Happy birthday, Liz.
Happy birthday, Liz. You rock.
Happy birthday.
So, I think that people also hunger to learn from other people. And so I'm doing the Gone Diggin Beach Blast. It'll be October 17th and 18th, a week after Pound the Ground this year. And it's 4 hours of educational experience with who I consider to be some of the best. I can't give out all of the speakers yet, but I can tell you Meryl from Metal Detecting NYC will be down hanging out. And we have some other really great speakers lined up.
Merrill alone with all his stats.
And where can people get information on that event?
So that's on the Gone Diggin Facebook page. If you go over to I tell you what, I'm going to drop this link in the chat. If one of you fun administrators take care of that. Oh, that's not it. Let's do this one.
Rewatch our live stream.
Yeah, that's this live stream. You can come back. So there you go. So that's the information to the event, and it's a little more expensive, but there's a lot more. It's $95 for 2 days. It includes breakfast and lunch. It includes entry to the social event. It includes raffles. It includes 4 hours of education. All of the sites are laid out. Plus, once you're done listening to Merrill, you get to go metal detect with him. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But, aside from my own personal event, I want to organize a trip to go to Alaska 2021.
Ooh.
So I don't know. You guys want to go?
Let's go.
I'd love to.
Joel, you in?
Yeah, I'm in. Let's go. I love it. Because that was going to be probably our next question. I mean, is that where would you want to hunt? Like, if there's any place on the planet you could hunt, where would you want to go digging at?
I want to go digging in a place where animals will eat you. I want big bears and I want wolves and everything. I want to go Alaska.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think that would be a lot of folks. What they call it, the dirty dozen. DK went over to England with Kevin from Potter County, Missouri Mike, Ken King, with all those folks. And man, that looks like a great trip. But I've also always been under the impression that you shouldn't go outside your own country unless you gave it a thorough look over. And Alaska's my last thorough look over.
Yeah. So you don't want to go over to England or anywhere like that?
No, not really. I mean, to be honest with you, I would, don't get me wrong, I would go to England and I will go to England. If I go to England, I want to go mudlarking with Nicola White.
Yeah.
That would be my England trip. Super, super nice lady. She came on the stream a few years ago. But I would love to go, if I could choose somewhere to go. Like, I want to go to BC with Pioneer Polly and go prospect, go diving and pick up a little gold nugget off the bottom.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'd love to go to Nome or go to the Bering Sea, just to try to dredge. I know that's absolutely insane, but I think it's just something that would be phenomenal.
Definitely an adventure.
Yeah. And that's really what I'm looking for now in this part of my life. I've been to Hawaii. I would like to go back to Hawaii and do some treasure like modern jewelry, beach detecting.
Yeah.
But Alaska's the last frontier.
Do you watch Bering Sea Gold?
You know, I don't watch TV. I really only watch YouTube.
Well, that show's about they go out on these little dredges, these suction dredges, and they go out there and they suck up all the gold out in the Bering Sea. So that'd be something cool to do.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. I did watch Gold Rush a few years ago. I would like to just see one of those big, large scale gold mines.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I'd like to go out and I'd like to learn how to dredge. I'd like to learn how to high bank. I'd like to learn how to pan. And DK says, bring your dry suit. Game on. Detection Connection says Belize. You know, I would like to go to Australia.
Yeah.
A
lot of gold out there.
There's a lot of gold and there's a lot of like diverse different things you can do. Neil Colston, I don't know if you guys know Neil, but he has a phenomenal channel and man, he does really cool stuff. He finds old coins, but they have the gold, all the the nugget shooting, like Mine Lab Gold's in Australia. And then who's the guy on the beach in Australia?
Which one? There's a few.
I don't know. He never wears a shirt. Michael Oliver. He's a fireman in Australia and he finds tons of gold rings. So I don't know. There's the world is a big place.
Yeah.
It is. We want to go to Virginia.
Yeah.
Me too.
You guys aren't too far from New Jersey. I mean, Jersey isn't that far.
No,
No.
it's not. We're gonna make it there soon.
It's probably like about 8 hours to drive to you.
What part are you guys? You guys are up north, right?
No, we're central.
Central. So my wife is from Belmar Beach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not far
And
from us, 20 minutes.
20 minutes from you guys.
It's a nice beach. We find some stuff there sometimes.
I found some Rev War musket balls on the beach where they dredged and put a bunch of sand on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was neat.
Yeah, Belmar.
Shark River Hills and all that stuff. I don't know.
They
New Jersey.
found a lot of Spanish reals on the beach, not far from there.
Spanish stuff on the beach there.
Yeah.
Sign me up. I'd love to go.
On any time.
Yeah. We'll have to catch up then. We'll have to do a collab in real life, not on this. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Not on this, this crazy live stream stuff, but this is cool. This is cool. This is really fun.
Cool.
So
You guys
what
have any
haven't
places
you
that-
found that you
know?
want to find? Oh, sorry.
No, what's that?
What haven't you found that you want to find?
A trime, a 3-cent piece. Like
Fine.
I have seen so many of these little bitty coins found around me and just pull my hair out a little bit every time. You know, I'd like to find a trime, honestly, but realistically, I don't really, I take that back. I have one thing. A trime would be cool, metal detecting, but my goal is a black glass English bottle from the 1600s.
That'd be awesome.
So, I mean, folks who follow some of my streams, you guys know I dig a lot of pits.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit because I know quite a lot of people are very interested in that.
So here in Virginia in the colonial period, it was like basically you threw your trash in one of two places. You threw it in a river or you threw it in a dug pit or a hillside. They would dig a little pit, throw their trash in it, fill it up, dig another one, throw their trash in it. It was just revolving. So there'd be these trash pits. And to find these trash pits, most of the time they would throw some sort of large iron object in it, whether it was a big grubbing hoe or like I found pot hangers in them where they had broken one side and they were no longer used. And then they would throw all of their normal stuff. And Cliff is in the chat, super big supporter of the channel. And I had the opportunity a few weeks ago to go out and help Cliff with a pit that he found, and it was simply a cooking pit. There was an entire skeleton of a pig, and then there were lots of pipe stems and a few pieces of broken bones in it. But what I guess from this pit is that this was a cooking pit for a special event. They cooked the pit in the ground, or the pig in the ground. They sat around and smoked their pipes because it's Virginia and everybody smoked tobacco. And then as the pipes broke or they got clogged up, they'd throw their pipe stems in the pit. And the pig was done. They'd eaten. They had their festive party, whatever it was. They covered it all back up. And I think that's really why I love digging pits.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of work when I watch your videos, but it looks like the reward is pretty cool. I mean, those stems and the pipes, and it's very jealous.
Well, my personal experience is there's no other way to find that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like, so sometimes it is very, I mean, it's labor intensive. Sometimes you go out and you just dig a pit, you don't even get to metal detect. Sometimes you go out metal detecting to find a pit and you never find one, and you end up digging large holes with absolutely nothing in them, but maybe a piece of iron or something that kind of led you that way.
So when you're looking for a pit, I mean, like with your metal detector, you're just looking for a clump of iron, right?
So yeah, it depends on the machine I use. I hunt with a couple different machine. Cliff says a pit gives you a story of what was happening when it was used. And I think that's the best reason why I like it. It's a snapshot. It's as close to a photograph as you could ever get. And finding those things are like, that's like my imagination is like drawing pictures around me while I'm digging in those things. But for many of the places that I dig, I am looking for large iron signals at depth. And that's generally what's going to get me there. Oh, and that doesn't matter if it's a Civil War pit or a colonial pit. It doesn't matter.
No, and it looks like the last couple of videos that when Kurt has dug with you, it looks like it's really nice because it's that sandy soil too. It's all sand. So does that make digging a lot easier, these pits, or is there only like a foot of sand and then clay or dirt underneath that?
No. So some of them, you know, I go to Culpeper and the Civil War soldiers dug them in red clay because that's what they had. So those are certainly much more time consuming and much more labor intensive than the sandy soil. Where we dug the one with Cliff was a very interesting, nice sandy soil. But other than that, it was, you know, it's for the most part, is pretty good. So it really just depends on where you're at.
No, that's awesome.
But so Mark the Berg Hunter said some of the pit diggers are crazy, digging 10 foot down, then digging into the wall of the pit. So the biggest thing of whatever I figured out of my experience of digging in Civil War era pits, rule number 1 is find the wall. That's rule number 1. And then rule number 2 is find a corner. Because if you don't have a wall and you don't have a corner, you can post hole right down into the center of it, and you'll never get to the corners, and you'll never know that you've done it thoroughly. If any of these items are worth digging, they're worth digging properly. So you just have to take your time. Sometimes they take multiple days. I have a pit in a neighboring county. Well, it's about an hour away from me. I've dug 2 days on it from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day, 10 by 10 holes, and we're still not done.
Wow.
And they're 4 foot, it's 4 foot deep.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of videos around lately. This is something I want to do. Is I want to go the ruby hunting, like the jewel, like crystal hunting. I
Yeah.
know they've been doing that a lot down like in the South. So that would be something cool. I mean, they dig down 20, 30 feet and finding these things. So
And that's completely different. I don't know anything about like those crystals, and
I know some of them are worth a lot of money. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, some of the big channels have been finding some really crazy stuff.
yeah.
Matt, when you go to dig those big holes like that, do you tell the property owner beforehand, like, I'm not just gonna possibly dig a small hole, but I might dig this big ditch out there?
You know, sometimes, but it really depends on it. You can do it, but you have to right, fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah.
So, like, have a tarp, if it looks like it's going to rain, have a pop-up tent, have an idea of how you're going to do it once you realize you're in one, right? If you dig an iron object at 20 inches, it didn't get there magically, right?
Right.
You know, either it's at the bottom of some sort of erosion field, or somebody put it there a long time ago. So if you start investigating that out and you realize, hey, I may be into some sort of refuse or trash pit or use layer of some sort of period. I mean, you guys in New Jersey should be digging them. You should be digging them in Ohio. I mean,
Well, I'm going to start looking now for sure.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
I was going to say, how far would it
Piqued
be
my
from a
interest, for
cellar
sure.
hole when you're looking at that? How far would they actually have their pits away from their houses, or would it be more towards a barn?
so cellar holes are a little different, right? Because you have properties that had multiple cellar holes.
Right.
Is that right?
Hmm.
So some of those cellar holes actually may be the trash pits.
Okay.
Um, we have in Virginia, we don't call them cellar holes. We call them ice holes or ice wells. They weren't lined. They were cellars, but sometime, if some food went bad or something, the water ground table contaminated the ice well, they would start throwing all their trash into that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's really dependent on your area and where you are. But if you get some sort of abnormally deep iron object or a strange object, you know, if you're going to spend the time to go all the way down in it, it doesn't take but another 5 or 10 minutes to investigate a little bit more.
Now, just something that I've heard about too, because I'm still new and I'm still learning. Did they have those for railroad lines also?
So the railroads would start in about the 1830s in the United States, right?
Hmm.
Some of them did, but you know, most of your railroad areas, I think you're going to be more geared towards probably sporadic. Maybe if they had a camp, a railroad camp, but a
Okay.
lot of those camps moved, right? They moved with the railroad as they were building them. So you probably could find sporadic trash dumps along where they just threw their garbage out. They weren't going to waste the time like your house site in the colonial period or even to the Civil War period, where you actually wanted to bury your trash to keep animals out of it, to keep your hogs out of it, to take care of the smell because you actually lived there. Most of the trash stuff I would look for, I would look for like towards house or occupation areas.
So I have a question because I have a property that I dig at once in a while. I've dug at it probably 12 times. It's a property that the company I work for owns. The original house on it is 1820 and the newer house is 1909 or 1901. Sorry. And there's a big barn. It's been shown in some of my videos. And I know where the trash pit is there. Should I just dig the crap out of it? I mean, what do you think? I mean, it is grass. I'll have to take the sod off and then start digging. Because I found a curdle bell there. So found some cool pieces of iron.
So one of my good friends is Brandon with Adventure Archaeology. He digs all kinds of cool bottles.
Okay.
What I've learned from Brandon is because the other thing, the reason why I do this is because, like you guys, this is how I learn. I learn as much from research as I do from watching other people. And 1900s era bottles are nothing to sneeze at. But if you can find the older stuff, right on, man. Like, that's the way to go. If you can find, if it was an 1820s house and you can find some 1860s or 1880s era stuff, I would dig that all day.
Well, and like the porch of the old house, I'm planning on doing that this spring. It's just a dirt floor. I have found some old bottles under there. So actually, I'm going to get underneath there and start digging it out. I have full permission to do whatever the heck I want to do there. So.
Are you probing? Are you probing the ground?
Yeah, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably take a small rake with me and see if I can find, because I found a couple decent bottles there. But I'll probably take my pulse dive with me too, and put the scuba end on it and see if I can find some coins and stuff. But
so if I was doing like underneath the front porch, I would hand pull all that stuff back, and I wouldn't even metal detect it. I would sift it all.
Sift it all? Okay, that's a good
idea. Sift it all. Because you'll never get, even with the little, 4-inch pulse stuff, 2 nails in there and a coin and you miss it.
Yeah. No, I get it. No, that's a good idea because it's very.
And especially if you have that kind of open permission, heck yeah, man. That's the stuff dreams are made of, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I found a 1910 beer bottle that was made in Akron, and the company closed down in 1910. In there, it's missing the stem on it, but it's one of my coolest bottles that I found. And I found some old medicine bottles underneath there, but there's a lot of pottery shards, a lot of broken plates. So there's got to be a ton more. And the groundhogs have actually dug a lot of it out. There's groundhog tunnels all underneath there. So I'm hoping maybe it'll be easier to pull out and sift. That's a good idea. Thanks for letting me know that.
Yeah. And then, because then you're going to get the cool stuff, right? You're going to get any pottery shards or anything like that. Like, one of the things I'm going to work towards this year is when I do get into some older pits, is reassembling some items, right?
Yeah.
Like, if they're broken, who cares, right? It's for me. It's not because it's worth money. I don't do this because I sell this stuff. But I think that I think it's really cool that, you can reassemble something maybe from the 1800s.
Yeah, see, this is something I found under there too.
Oh, dude. So maybe the cup is there, or the handle's there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like you said, use a sift and try to find it. So
there you go, Reed.
What I put all my beaver tails in.
Yeah.
My nice beaver tails.
I know. Who's in here? I saw Jordy's in here hanging out, right?
Yeah.
I saw Tony from Just Dirt Fishing. What's up, my friend? Who else is in here? We got 37 cool people hanging out in here.
Yeah,
you got your fan clubs here.
I think Adventures in Dirt asked you a question up here too. Ken asked you. Where was that at?
Oh,
it's one that says, "So Joel, when are we all coming up to help you with that project?"
Oh, anybody can come up. Yeah, I mean, if I could tear the porch out, it'd be better. They're eventually going to tear the house down, unfortunately. Hoping the city makes it a historical land site, because we develop commercial property.
I did.
So that's the only thing left on the property that's not developed. So I'm hoping that the city comes up and says, "Hey, it was one of the first families that came to Green, Ohio." So I'm hoping they can make it a historic landmark and they can't touch it. So
no, that'd be cool, man. I do like seeing that kind of stuff saved. So
I mean, you got, because the house that was built in 1901, the house that was built in 1820 was used as a chicken coop after that. After they built the other house, but man, the woodwork on the inside, it's all oak. It's beautiful, and I would hate to see it go. And the barn's really cool. Actually, Doug and I, we dug in the barn. It was about 13 degrees below zero one day, and we were looking for a place to go. So I said, "Hey, let's go over to the farm," and we ended up pulling like seven silver coins, eight silver coins. Nothing too terribly old. I think 3 SLQs and some Mercs and stuff like that. But
that's cool, man. Like, I like that kind of ingenuity. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think that's neat. Like, and so I metal detect a lot, right? But in the last year, I got into scuba diving. I think that's like, you want to find me in a happy place, give me a tank and put me underwater for the next 2 hours.
I want to
Tell us a little bit about your underwater adventures, because that is fascinating.
So I am not the poster child of proper scuba diving, so don't listen to anything I say. I'm not certified. I taught myself, but I do dive with people who are certified. We dive here in Virginia, what we call dark water or black water. Some people call it that. But it's very limited visibility water. And I look for a lot of the stuff I'm looking for is early either Civil War items or colonial period glassware, pipe stems. I mean, I found arrowheads, I find megalodon shark's teeth, and it's just laying there to be picked up.
It's crazy. I've seen a couple of your videos with the shark teeth that you've pulled before.
Yeah. Sailor Steve says he's Patty certified. I got one right here. I'll show you real quick. In fact, I went out today and grabbed we ended up picking up a few. I did something absolutely crazy. We almost died, but that's for another story, another day.
Well, you got to tell the almost death.
Leave us hanging like that.
All right, so this is one of my last teeth I found last summer.
Oh wow!
Look at that.
That is a megalodon. And here in Virginia, they only this is one of the only places you can get that beautiful red color.
Yeah, because most of them are white, right? Aren't they?
Yeah, so a lot of them are white, but the tannins and the mineralization in the Virginia rivers allow them to be red sometimes.
So what are we looking at an age on that?
10 to 15 million years old.
Holy cow.
Blows my mind.
So
Wow.
this is another one. So this is a little older, about 20 to 25 million years old. This one was not on the water. It was on top of the ground.
That's crazy.
So I do like to do other things. I'm like, again, like the gold prospecting stuff. One day I'm going to get to do it all. But the Mark Mosley, right on, brother. That's awesome. So today, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm going to tell you guys this.
You got to share now. You have to share now.
So I spend as much time researching places as I do actually going out and finding places.
Yep.
Right. Because if you don't research, you don't put the time in the books and the maps online, you're not going to be able to find the quality spots. So when you do have the time to go, you'll actually find stuff. And that was part of today. We went out and we researched banks and looked for different areas for different fossil layers to determine whether or not those fossil layers produced enough teeth so that over the eons of rivers carving and moving, that teeth would be available at the bottom of the river where nobody's looking. So with that, we found a little spot that had a little bit of a bank, and we were kind of poking around, and I was like, this doesn't really look good. And just about as I said that, probably a 8-foot wide sheet of clay, about 24 to 36 inches, dropped down and fell, and it crushed everything underneath us, and it had to be better than 12 or 1,500 pounds.
Holy crap, man.
And yeah, I was pretty weirded out about that. I was like,
Probably had to change
good.
it after that one, didn't you?
I think there's probably teeth in the bottom of the river here.
That's the sign. Go away. Someone's telling you we don't want you here.
Yeah. So, and we were just scouting. We were just looking for places because it takes so much time to go out, to get a boat on the water, to put a tank on, to get a tide, to get the moon phase right. So it's like metal detecting is a little easier, right? Just fire. Make sure you got batteries and a camera, or just batteries. You don't even need anything to eat.
I've watched some videos of people doing it down in Florida, the shark, and they're pulling huge ones out, and they're just finding them probably kind of like you. They use like a hose and they wash the fossil layer away, and then they're in there, and that's crazy.
Yeah. So we're not doing anything that aggressive. But we were just kind of working this little fossil layer. And we hadn't really like super undercut it, like that's something you should never do in a pit. You should always dig from the top down. Well, in some of the fossil layers, just to check to see, basically what we're looking for is the quantity in a given area. It was, DK, the bank completely just gave away. But yeah, so we were just looking for a quantity in a given area. So when we were underwater, we know that we are in the best possible area. But man, that was pretty nuts. And it was the one of my buddies I was with. We just stood there. Like nobody had any time to say anything. Nobody had any time to yell. We just stood there. I looked at him. He looked at me. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like,
"Oh man,
yeah. Are you okay?" He's like, "Well, we didn't die."
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's good.
Well, that's a good thing.
Hey, I want to interrupt real fast and let everybody know that the after party will start immediately after the stream. We usually end about 8 o'clock, but if we have to go over a little bit, that's fine. Nancy will post the link in the chat. When do you usually do it, Nancy? Like 5 minutes before?
We'll do it right before we say all our goodbyes. We'll post the link. All you need to do is follow the link, follow the instructions to it, and you will connect right to us at the after party. So make sure you join us. It's a good time. Get to know us after. See what's going on behind scenes.
Yeah, we can do a little bit of that.
Yeah, and like I was saying, if Matt can join us for a little bit and answer questions, it's fun. It's chill. We're not live, so you don't have to,
Oh, cool.
Censor yourself at all if you want,
whatever.
So anything else you want to tell us, Matt?
No, I'm just appreciative that you guys would invite me on, and we'll get you guys each individually on my stream at some point in time. As we go through the next year, it's but I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I love the kind of group aspect of it, and I appreciate each and everybody who came and hung out. I mean, I don't know, I didn't get to say hi to everybody. Unfortunately we can't, but it's it's a cool hobby we have, and I'm just super glad to be part of such an close-knit community of great folks.
Now, none of us asked you. You said you use a couple different metal detectors. I know you use a Deus. But what else do you use? I know what was that machine you were using a couple weeks ago with the big box on the back? Pulse machine, right?
So I use 3 different machines, and I have, like, if you guys want to come talk about machines, this is a whole nother live stream. But so come to the after party, hang out. We'll talk
about it in the after party.
But I use 3 machines. I use an XP Deus, MindLab GPX 4500, and a MindLab CTX 3030.
Okay. Oh, you and Don from Detection Connection uses the 3030 also,
Mhm.
and he hunts with me a lot. So that's a pretty powerful machine. So
Yeah, it's a fantastic machine. And because I've started diving, now I have to add a dive detector because, if you guys ever want to like just talk metal detecting, I would love like all of this stuff. Somebody, Sailor Steve said, Matt, what's your link? Here, I'll put that up in there while we're here. We could talk about that because I think that's something not talked about enough in the metal detecting community. But yeah, if you guys are interested in a beach metal detecting event, come hang out at the Gone Diggin Beach Blast. It is going to be a blast. We've got a super cool social. We've got a lot of fun. I think beach detecting is something that is available to a lot of folks. I mean, Jersey History Hunters, you guys are 20 minutes from the beach.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even closer. I mean, so whether it's you're close to the beach or you live in the middle of Ohio, I think you can take some of the stuff that the people are going to teach you and you can apply them to either water metal detecting or say you go on a cruise somewhere in a year from now. That's my goal anyway.
I didn't see your link to your channel show up, so I went ahead and threw it in there.
Oh, cool.
So if anybody wants to go subscribe, I mean, I love watching your videos. They're very educational, and man, the pits just got me. They just have me going. So we'll have to get together sometime and you can show me because I just intrigued with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I mean, the support means a lot to me. I think it's easy to get bogged down in the keyboard warriors of YouTube and the internet, and I think that it's folks like y'all that keep everybody positive, that continue to promote what we like to do as a fun, friendly, family-oriented hobby.
Yeah.
That we're not the huge guy on the t-shirt that says beach better have my money. But
Well,
if I make it to that one day, I'll be proud to wear that shirt.
But like Kurt said in one of the videos he was digging with you, that you don't have as many subs as you deserve. So I mean, your channel is awesome, but like Kurt said, metal detecting channels, there's so many out there right now, it's hard to get ahead, but you deserve more.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And if you guys are in the chat and you're making metal detecting videos, just remember why you're doing it and don't give up on what you love. That's it. Right? It's no different than life. We only get one chance to go around this thing. So let's make it the best we can. I get a really crappy comment today from somebody, and I just said, thank you for your comment.
Yeah, I've done that a few times too. It's like, okay, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So
yeah.
Somebody told me in my last video that when I was talking in my intro, it was too fast, so he's not going to watch me again. I said, okay, cool.
Thank you. Well, thank you for watching this video.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just, but make sure everybody go subscribe to Matt, and then Facebook too. Gone Diggin on Facebook, so you guys can get information on his group hunt.
So I do have a Gone Diggin Facebook group, but I leave that very interactive just to people who come and join. I don't post my own links. I really don't allow a lot of other links in there because I really like the interaction between subscribers. People who support me, I want to support them. If they post something cool, I want to be able to comment and talk about that. So if you come and join, please, I encourage you to just understand that we don't use it as a YouTube promotion. It's just a fun thing to keep in touch with everybody.
Yeah, and I follow your page a lot. I don't post links on it or anything, but I do. And then it's a very interactive group. There's a lot of, if you post something on there, you'll get the naysayers, of course, but you'll always have the person that steps up and goes, okay, yeah, this is what coin that is, or something like that. So it's very interactive. So that's good. Somebody's calling me an auctioneer. Finders keepers. Yes, I do talk fast. I'm sorry, guys. But like you said earlier, and I think the dudes and Nancy, Dave doesn't really make videos, but myself, we're pretty much making videos so we can look at them later, like you said, and our grandkids and our kids, and like my son loves watching the videos. He's probably one of my first views on it. So that's what we're doing it for. So.
Well, I'll tell you, Matt, I just want to thank you. You have given so much to this community between your knowledge, your experience, and what you share by connecting all of us together. It means a lot to every one of us. You do a huge part to bring this community together, and I thank you for that.
Well, thank you.
And you're always welcome in Ohio.
Right on, man. I appreciate that.
So, all right.
You
Anything,
want-
Matt? I mean, are you anything
What's
to
that?
say before we head out to the after party?
No, just thanks guys. And I appreciate the comments. I appreciate you guys hanging out here with me. And hey, let's catch up real soon.
Yep. All right, Nancy, you want to post the link and
Will do. I'm going to post the link to the after party. So once we log off, all you need to do is connect to that link in the chat, follow the instructions in it, and you will be connected to us to join us for a little discussion afterwards. Tonight has been fabulous. I want to say thank you everybody for coming here, supporting us. Check out Matt's channel. He is amazing. And come to the after party. Come talk to us. Let's hear about these detectors he has. All right.
I posted the link again to the Facebook or to
And
the
here-
YouTube channel. So,
Bye, everybody.
all right, everybody.
This is the link to the after party, guys. It's been a great show. Judy, we missed you. We hope you did you proud. Enjoy the play, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
We out.
Night,
Hang
everybody.
on.
Night, everyone. Maybe.
I'm trying to end it.
We're working through some difficulties here.
Yeah, my computer wants to lock up on me, of course, right when I go to end the stream.
No, we're
We're doing
staying
each
live.
other a little
Staying live.
overtime. It's
We
okay.
are going to stay live all night. How's that?
Oh gosh.
Hey, I was on till 11 o'clock the other night.
We're still on.
That's
And we're
crazy.
still on. I'm trying to stop it, believe me.
Doug,
If
hold
I,
on.
if I could push the button any faster, I would. It just does not want to end.
What's going on, everybody?
Technical difficulties, people.
There we go.
There he is. What's going on?
Okay.
It
Oh,
gave
everybody's
me
live.
another
Bear
prompt.
with us while we connect to the after party.
Are we not live anymore?
No, you're still live.
We're still live.
DK.